Russians will never have a lack of artillery pieces or the shells to shell the Ukrainian positions.
Realistically speaking, we might lose control over the territories for a certain period of time, and we'll have to fight back to regain control over those territories.
Hello and welcome to Ukrainian Flames, a special project by Ukraine Crisis Media Center, NGO, Euro-Atlantic Course and the Analytical Center of Ukrainian Catholic University. My name is Victoria Zabiyan. I'm head of the UCMC Press Center. Please like, share this video and subscribe our channel to stay tuned. It is extremely difficult for Ukraine to resist the Russian attack without the certain weapons. This is a fact. For 3 months, Ukrainian politicians, government officials, opinion leaders, volunteers and ordinary citizens have been shouting for help with weapons from Western partners. Today we're talking about it again, and we talk about what weapons actually Ukraine needs, why it is needed and how soon. And we start with military expert Archil Tsintsadze, who mentions that Russian artillery is one of the main problems that Ukraine faces with, and today we need the weapons and equipment that will help to push Russian troops out of Ukrainian borders. Let's listen to his point.
We're talking about today what point is the assistance programs and the weapon delivery status for Ukrainians, how these weapons could influence the battlefield, and how this long promised weaponry will change the status of the battlefields and change the status of the warfare on Ukrainian territory. Well, a lot of questions and a lot of answers, but not precise answers, how they can really change the outcome of the warfare on the battlefield. But what I believe that main aspect and the let's say confrontation of the power from the Russian Federation side and using the smart weaponry from Ukrainian side may create some balance. I would say some balance, but if one would say that, well, how much weaponry is needed for Ukraine to start counter-offensive operations, I would say a lot of. But before you use this lot of equipment and the weaponry against the opposite forces, you need to have some kind of experience of using this weaponry. So what I say, what I say now is that, well, we understand that the Russians, they completely changed their strategy, and the strategy of offensive is completely different here. So they basically changed it from showing the force and driving through the cities. Now they started the military operations, well-planned military operations. I would say well-planned because they have the front lines, they have the rear, they have artillery, they have the air support, and what they do is they are diminishing the opposing forces, and they are moving slowly forward and forward. So basically what I would say that Russians will never have a lack of artillery pieces or the shells to shell the Ukrainian positions. What I believe here is that, well, you can do the same against the Russian Federation here, because you will never have the same quantity of artillery pieces, or you won't be able to produce this number of shells to counter these offensives. So the solution here would be to have the smart weapon and not to give the chance the Russians to concentrate the artillery power and then to move forward on the destroyed territories. So smart weaponry will change the course of the outcome on the battlefield. The sooner we get on the Ukrainian side, then the Western countries will send the weaponry to Ukraine, will be better to Ukraine to first to halt the let's say moving forward Russian troops, and then to somehow to manage to keep the status quo, and then after that to launch the counteroffensive. This is this is the main strategy could be used here from the Ukrainian side. But before Ukrainians, they decide to they use the new strategy not to counter Russians with the same power, with the same strategy of waging the war on the battlefield with the artillery, tanks, and the manpower. The Ukrainians, they need to understand that they have to have the strategy, what weaponry to ask, how to cover their units from the air, how and what precise military weaponry they need to counter the artillery pieces Russians are using against, and so on and so forth. So before Ukrainians decide to launch the counteroffensive, I believe they should have the strategy of how to rearm themselves and what kind of weaponry to use to better counter the Russian invasion. Thank you.
Inna Sovsun, member of Ukrainian parliament, in her comment to the Times Radio said that without needed weapons, Ukraine will, unfortunately, lose control on its territories and later it will spend much more efforts to free them. Let's watch the following video.
You cannot fight with rifle against artillery, as simple as that. And unfortunately, as long as we don't have those, we truly cannot hold ground over there. And our army men and women are doing miracles over there on the east. But still, realistically speaking, we might lose control over the territories for a certain period of time, and we'll have to fight back to regain control over those territories after that. But yeah, it's a realistic situation, unfortunately, right now. That means that, again, Europe is, as I stated before, undecisive and not united. And that's extremely unfortunate because that plays into Putin's hands and that makes him strong and Europe's weaker. So yeah, we do feel, again, first of all, I don't mean to sound ungrateful. We are grateful for the support we have received. It is truly saving lives, but so many more lives and so much infrastructure could have been saved if we got it early and if we got, what we were asking for exactly, not just what is given, basically handed out to us right now.
Ukrainian Minister for Foreign Affairs Dmytro Kuleba has previously stated that Ukraine will not be able to liberate cities like Kherson without multiple rocket launchers. According to him, he held about 10 rounds of bilateral negotiations on the supply of weapons. But he was faced with the unwillingness of partners to transfer missile systems until the United States did so. Yesterday, the American partners took an important step towards threatening assistance to Ukraine, and Dmytro Kuleba tweeted about it. Here's the quote. "Grateful to the US and personally to my friend Secretary Blinken for this important decision that we have all worked so intensively to make a reality. Advanced American systems will help our brave armed forces to defend Ukrainian land from Russian invaders. Perhaps this will be one of those decisions that will push our countries to provide Ukraine with the necessary weapons." You've been watching Ukraine in Flames, a special project by Ukraine Crisis Media Center, NGO Euro-Atlantic Course and Analytical Center of Ukrainian Catholic University. In the description to this video, you can find the information about how personally you can help Ukraine against Russian aggression. Everything is gonna be Ukraine.